In this video, I'd like to show you how you can intuitively report on all your data with the analytical reports which we have created on top of our CPM Vision Model 2.6. As we know finance, we also know that finance executives and also controllers love their numbers. They love to see a lot of data to easily crunch down and understand exactly where the essence of your deviations lie. That's exactly why we created these analytical reports. First of all, they're extremely fast. They'll be faster than any CCH Tagetik report you've built, or any other report and any other solution. Secondly, they breathe finance. They show your numbers in appropriate IBCS standards. Let's take a look. So from the home page, let's click on the analytical reports and we'll have a little extra menu. On the left hand side, you can see we're talking about traditional reports and artificial intelligence reports. Now let's focus on the traditional reports. You have 6 different reports, and please just take a minute just to analyze this way how we're presenting these reports. First of all, there's of course in your reports you have rows and columns. In the rows, you can, for the first 3 reports, you can in fact select account schema, or for Tagetik users, FSTs, which allow you to group certain accounts together and add different accounts. Also have spaces and everything defined in your Tagetik application, which you can select. So you'll have this P&L, balance sheet, or cash flow FST, or management summary FST across all these 3 reports. The other report has the possibility of choosing any dimension, be it entity or custom dimension, in your rows and nest them in whatever way you like as an end user. Right? So the difference here is that here these 3 reports have a full schedule, the full P&L, and here you're looking at your business dimensions and or entities within your rows. So then looking at the columns, then we have the first report here. In fact, right, all reports have scenarios, comparisons, deviations versus budget, prior year, forecast, etc., and percentages in the columns. That's per definition. But on top, the report here has the periods, and this one has periodicity. So in the periods, you'll see your months, your quarters, your half years, and your periodicity, you'll see things like the current month, year to date, last 12 months, and all these kind of concepts within your columns. In the second list, of course, because the accounts which were here in your rows, here are added to the columns, and you can select any account. So you can focus on revenues or EBITDA or any FTE account you might have in your application. This is in your column. So this now brings us back down to these 6 reports, and let's start with the first one. If we jump into the first report, you'll see that when we open up the report, what do we have initially is a P&L, right, which is defined here. From whichever FST you might have in your application, you can select the FST, which is perfectly formatted. And in my columns, I have my continent, or my region in this case, and the country below. And that's defined here with dimensions, region and country. And I have actuals, budget, actuals versus budget, which I can also change. Right? So here I have actuals versus budget. I might want to pop in prior year. Now for all my columns, you'll just turn for a little second, and it will pop in prior year for my full analysis. You see, I have it for each region, and then the total. Let me just move myself down a little bit here. Right? So it's easy and intuitive to add any comparison, any percentage deviation, or any deviation into this schedule. Let's take out prior year for a second and just show you the power of the rest of the report. As you can see, Europe, of course, consists of different countries. I can open it up here, and I see my developments by country. That's, of course, similar for any other region. But I might not want to look at the countries. I might want to look at, for instance, my divisions. So by adding now region and division, I can open up Europe, and instead of looking at the countries now, I get the division here. Right? This is so intuitive that you can actually also decide to change. I might want to start with division, so I take away region, and then I want to see my countries. So now it will pop up my division as the first grouping, and the second grouping will be your countries. So now within each division, I can analyze by country. It's very intuitive for the end user to decide for themselves whatever way they want to roll up their numbers. Now, looking at that, right, you have these things which are all flexible, bringing the insights to every user in a specific way, which he or she wants to see at that moment. And the speed of this reporting is amazing. You've seen how I quickly changed a few dimensions, and hundreds and thousands of numbers are simply brought to your screen within milliseconds, in fact. So this is a simple schedule, but if I were to focus on the same report, looking at country by division, and I now look at it by period. Now, in fact, what I'm generating here at the moment is a report which will show for the same insight, which was previously on quarter 2, I'm now showing the report which shows the quarters and the months by division and by country, which of course I can collapse everywhere and have a look at any analysis at any level. So collapsing it here, collapse the group. Now I'll simply see all the months and I can look at it by quarter. That's a monthly quarterly view. I might want to see only, for instance, I only want to see my budget for the full year. By clicking on that, I will see a budget overview of the full year. So now you see the same analysis for the full year by quarter and by month for each division. Let me collapse this grouping. By month, by quarter, and the full year. This schedule I could simply just change by selecting, for instance, only the budget. And then I have a full budget overview. Uncollapse that. By month and all the developments I'd like to see. So you can see that this schedule is easily available. I might be interested to see the periodicity for my quarter 2. Now I get my collapse group. Now I see the period, year to date, quarter to date, H1, H2, and full year for my budget. If I bring back again my actuals, my deviations versus budget, I get the columns added for that analysis. Everything just easily available. And if I now were to go into the country or into this other report, which is looking at the flip side, where I bring my accounts to my columns. I open up my filter panel here at the bottom. I can decide to show my divisions and my countries in the rows, but just as easy, right? I can add, for instance, my entities below my countries. So the analysis becomes, of course, quite extensive, but I now see also the analysis by entity, by country, and for, in this case, revenues and EBIT. These accounts I can easily change by adding whatever additional analysis or account like EBITDA, and it pops in EBITDA. Again, for all the defined dimensions which the user might want to see here. So this with the account. I'll take out entity there and just let me add country. Then we have a bit of a collapse this, collapse entire field, and I want to look at it by period. Now it brings again the periods into the report. With my quarter 1s, quarter 2, revenues, EBITDA, and EBIT. Let me just show you the amount of numbers which were popping in milliseconds. This analysis at your fingertips. And then the last report here, which shows you the periodicity, again, by your country, your division, for these 3 specific accounts which we've selected. So hopefully you've seen how incredibly flexible this environment is. And just with only these 6 reports, you can generate any kind of insights. Add a few bookmarks to this, and you have your favorites just with 1 click, and your full analysis is available to you. So hope that gives you some ideas how incredibly powerful CPM Vision on top of the CCH Tagetik is, and how this can potentially ease your FP&A or controlling department to find their numbers quickly and to digest the huge volumes of data which you have in your application. Thanks for watching this video of analytical reports with CPM Vision. As you have seen, these reports are extremely flexible and very easy to use. Even with bookmarks, you can even fix your point of view and grab back to any analysis you might have done in the past and you want to do on a recurring basis. For more videos about CPM Vision on CCH Tagetik with PowerBi, please follow us.